get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling.
The mountaintop, walk on water, I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike oil, diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mound. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd, full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling.
Hey guys, it's Jay, and welcome to the blog. I don't even know where to start this week except to say a huge thank you to everyone who made the 30 by 30 challenge an incredible success. You've blown me away with what that became. When I launched that, I thought maybe we'd get a group of 5 or 10 people together who'd, go on some hikes and talk about some trails that they knew, or, like everything I do, I really didn't know what it would look like when it all came together. But my God, 160 of you signed up for it in the first 3 days. And then from that, we had about 3 dozen people who were actively posting every day to the group, who were sending me private messages. And beyond that, we had more than 100 who at least once a week were sending me an update on what they had done, both themselves, with their family, with their kids. This whole thing just took on a life of its own. Selfishly, when I launched this, I said it's because I wanted to find new things to do. And boy, did you deliver. I never thought that I would hike, let alone really enjoy it. And I have really come to enjoy it. It started on the first day of the challenge. I went and hiked Ben Yon. And that's a 2.2 kilometer hill up to the top. You get a good look at the Brador. Honestly, it's a great hike, it's a great spot, but it's nothing too spectacular. But the fact that I accomplished that, and the fact that when I shared that so many other people shared their story as well and told me that they were going out to do it, and some people went out the very next day and did it, that just kept rolling. And within, by the end of the month, I did Coxheath Mountain a couple of days apart. That's incredible. But what's more incredible is that you came and you did it with me, and you went out and formed your own groups and went and did these things on your own. The project really did take on a life of its own. It took on your life. When we started this, we said we wanted to do it for 30 days because science tells us that if you do anything for 21 days, if you do anything for 3 weeks, it just becomes part of your routine. If you have someone establish any kind of habit for 3 weeks and then on the 22nd day, don't let them do it, their body innately wonders where that activity went, what is it, why aren't we doing it? We've been doing it now for 3 weeks, it's part of who we are. That's worked. You know how I know it's worked? Because as this challenge is coming to an end, you guys are on Facebook talking about what you want to do in September. That's not part of the challenge. The challenge is over, right? I mean, it's the end of the month. We're done. But the truth is, we've all instilled within us now that this is part of our routine. The 30 by 30 challenge gave us all permission to get out and do things we normally wouldn't do, to try things we normally wouldn't try. And what we learned is that we are exactly the type of people who do those things. It never would have occurred to me that I'm the type of guy who'd call a friend and say, hey, you want to go hike Coxheath Mountain? But now that's exactly who I am, and I've done it twice this week. That's a remarkable thing for me. From the guy who was huffing and puffing his way up Ben Yon, for 2K, to then go do Coxheath Mountain. That's a big climb. And all it puts in your head is, what's another 30 days going to give me? What's 60 days going to give me? Where am I going to be next spring? What's the next challenge? What's the next big view that I want to see that tells me I'm doing this right? And to those of you who have physically done that as well, it was so great to be with some of you as you had these awesome moments of accomplishment where you did something you never thought you would do. For some of you, it was just getting around, the brook in Glace Bay a couple of times. For others, it was getting to the top of that mountain. Whatever that victory was, it was huge for you, just as my personal victories were huge for me. And those set the foundation, those lay the framework for the next challenge, the next success. They build our confidence, just like the whole group did, that support system. You can't buy that. There's nowhere you can buy what we created over the last 30 days. And I am so proud of everyone who took part, and I am so incredibly blessed to have gotten to meet so many of you and to become friends with so many of you. And it's not over. Even though August is over, we're going to keep that group going. We're going to keep setting up events and challenges for ourselves. We're going to keep getting together when we can. And we're going to keep supporting and challenging each other to do things. That little quiet voice in the back of our head, every now and then, that doubt speaks up and says, who the hell do you think you are trying to climb a mountain, right? Well, I'm a guy who does it. So are you, and so are so many of you who came out over the last 30 days to these challenges, to do these things. I'm at a loss for words, and that never happens.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling.
So again, a big thank you to everyone who took part in the 30 by 30 challenge in August, and we will keep those events going, but it does make you wonder, what's the challenge for September? The challenge for September is all about food. We're going to break down September into 4 weeks. I guess that happens anyway, but we're going to take each of the weeks and kind of tackle a different meal. The first week is going to be all about breakfast, the second week is going to all be about dinner or lunch, and the third week is going to be supper, and then we're going to do a week of snacks. And what I want is that one recipe that you have that is like your feel-good recipe, that when you cook it, you're being healthy, that you're taking a step in the right direction, that it's it's the healthy breakfast that you have, it's the healthy lunch that you can get away with, that doesn't kill you to eat. I want to know what these things are. I want to know how it is you put healthy choices in your day without sacrificing the foods that you truly enjoy, without sacrificing so much of the other lifestyle. So I don't want everyone to submit a salad. I mean, the idea here is just to show everybody that this is about progression, it's about getting better, it's about education. And the minute we all start sharing these recipes, we'll be able to see, and we're going to bring in some help with some nutritionists and along the way to let us know about, reading labels, to let us know about building recipes, about substitutions in recipes. So many of us have things that have been in our family forever that we really don't want to screw with, but my God, there has to be a way of doing it with less butter and not losing the taste, or cooking without oil, or any of these things. We're going to get to the bottom of all of that. But mostly this month, frankly, it's like an old lady recipe exchange. I'm going to share some of mine with you. I want you to share yours with the rest of us. We're all going to learn from each other. But a note on that, food has become overly politicized in our world these days. Everyone, it seems, has an agenda, whether you're on whole foods, natural foods, whether you're a shop local guy, whether you're all about being a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever. I fully support your right to make those choices and live that way. I'm not judging them at all. I'm not at the end of my food journey, so God knows where I'll fall. I feel like a peg on Plinko. God knows where I end up, what slot I end up in when this is over. But for right now, I'm just a guy trying to make good choices every day, and that's who this program is for. So it doesn't mean you don't submit a vegan dish. It doesn't mean I don't want to see whole food dishes or anything like that. Of course we want to see all of that. What I don't want to see is any grandstanding. I don't want anyone judging anyone else's choices. There is nothing more personal in this world than the relationship between us and our food, of how we choose to treat our body, of how we fuel our body every day. So I just want to be upfront with that. We're going to run this through the Facebook page for Big Deal's Weight Loss Challenge, but I'm not going to tolerate any of that. Great discussion, absolutely, but I don't want to see any kind of level of judgment. This is an educational experience. People are going to post recipes and are going to learn that, maybe there's no way of making that healthy. Maybe what they thought was a healthy choice wasn't. That's what I want to have happen with this. I want us to find those recipes that we can all kind of, keep in our file, so to speak, that we can pull out and vary our own dishes, our own creations, and help us all just cook better, more healthfully for our families. That's all that this challenge is about. 4 weeks, 4 different challenges this month. We're going to tackle each one. So starting this week, it's breakfast. Share a unique breakfast dish. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/bigdealwlc. Post a picture, post a recipe, post whatever it is you're comfortable with. Well, I want to know what it is. Want you to share with everybody else. I'm going to do that too. And I'm going to track this whole journey for me, because you know I'm going to be eating some of what you submit. I'm going to track all of that on MyFitnessPal. So you can always look me up on MyFitnessPal, myfitnesspal.com, and do a search for Big Deal WLC. We'll be back here next week. We'll talk about week 2.